Hi everybody, it's Cassie here, and today is the 8th annual World Day for the End of Speciesism, with activists all over the world participating in actions to bring awareness to speciesism as a concept, which is something that not everyone's familiar with. A lot of people don't know this word, don't know how to spell it, don't know how to pronounce it, don't know what exactly it's all about. And today at DXC in the SF Bay area, we are participating in the World Day for the End of Speciesism. We are taking action today. We are in Oakland right now. We just gathered up at the entryway to walk along the Bay Bridge. So we're not going to be walking where the cars are, but we're going to be walking on the pedestrian and cyclist path. And we are going to have giant letters, which you can see behind me. We're getting set up right before we get on. That spell, can you guess what it says? Oh, Shiloh's already in the comments with the hashtag. It spells End Speciesism. So if you could tell already, then good job. But if not, I'll turn it around in a second and show you everyone with this group photo that we're getting before we head onto the freeway. And if you can, please share the live stream today and help educate people about what speciesism is, which, just like racism, sexism, many other systems of oppression, it is a way of seeing humans as superior to other species. It is a way of relegating certain individuals beneath other individuals for shallow, superficial reasons that should not matter when deciding the worth of that individual's life in any way whatsoever. Thanks, Rhonda, for your support. Thanks, everybody who's watching and sharing. You all probably already have heard about speciesism, but maybe you'll learn something a little bit today. And if not, you probably have friends and family who don't know about it. So it would be great if you could share, if you could explain to your social network what this is and why people all over the world are taking action to end speciesism. So I'm going to turn the camera around right now and show you a better view of all the activists out here today holding these giant letters designed by Alex Santurio, who's running right there. Alex is on the creative team in DXC and has really creative ideas and also the skills to put them together, like designing these giant letters, which are actually on screen material, or I don't know what you call it, but it is sort of transparent and it allows the wind to pass through it a bit, so it makes it easier when we're walking along the freeway out here in the Bay Area where it's really windy and there's going to be a lot of wind passing by that could make these giant letters difficult for activists to carry. It's very helpful that the material has tons of little holes and the wind can partially go through them. And it's also really helpful that they are on these, not just sticks, but also these ropes. I'll show you. They have these strings that are kind of holding them and taking some of the work off of the activists because they can just rest the bottom of the stick in that sling that is also around their necks, and it makes it easier to carry these letters all the way. So just a cool, nifty design I wanted to shout out from Alex. And I'm going to get to the front to show you a different view. I see that Shiloh shared. Thanks so much, Shiloh. Definitely, we must end speciesism. And that's a huge goal. Huge, huge goal. We're not going to end speciesism in any short number of years. Just like there's still so much work to be done to expose and challenge racism, sexism, ableism, and I won't say all the isms because, sometimes I hear that and I think that people think that all the isms are bad, but actually there's plenty of isms that are actually good things, like feminism, for example, which I definitely support, but I know what people are saying when they say that, all the isms is kind of just a shorthand way to say these isms that are forms of oppression that are very connected, so I understand the point. And Shiloh's also commenting the link to sign up to join us in Utah. Thanks, Shiloh. That is dxc.io/Utah sign up. And that is a chance to take action with people in Utah during a 10-day event We've got a cyclist coming through, that's why we're sharing the road on just one side of the road here. And we've also got Rocky up ahead doing outreach for people who are walking by slowly enough to get a leaflet and have a conversation, so that's awesome. But yeah, the Utah Convergence that I was just mentioning is happening October 3rd to 11th now. It was going to happen in September, but the trial for Paul and Wayne actually got delayed from September to October because Wayne and Paul won their motion to change venues for the trial. And so now, because the venues changed to a slightly more progressive county and a county that's definitely less tied to Smithfield foods, meaning the jury pool of people in the jury as a result should be less biased against the defendants and for Smithfield. Because of the change of venue, the dates also changed. It got pushed back almost a month. So overall, it's good that they won that motion and they're going to have a slightly better chance of having a less biased jury. But in a subsequent hearing that happened this past Wednesday, so just a few days ago, the judge said he's planning to have an anonymous jury, that he is the main person questioning, not any of the attorneys on either side, prosecution or defense, which is pretty upsetting because having the chance to question jurors or potential jurors yourself or your attorneys doing that is really important for the case. And now that the judge wants to do it and keep the jury anonymous, that could be a real challenge to the legal case that we're trying to present, with really relating to the jurors and, you know, asking them about their values around animals, how they see animals and things like that. So I see that Conrad's saying he booked his flight for Utah. Thank you so much, Conrad. I'm really glad that you'll be joining us. And I hope that more people can. You can sign up at dxc.io/Utah signup. You can also learn more about it at the event page, which is dxc.io/Utah trial. I think dxc.io/trial and dxc.io/convergence also all direct to that Facebook event page. So there's a lot of options, ways to get there. Seeing that billboard over there reminds me that we have two digital billboards, or we have a digital billboard design being shown on two different billboard locations in Salt Lake City promoting righttorescue.com, which is really cool. They say compassion is not a crime, with a photo of Wayne and another activist from the investigation carrying Lily and Lizzie out of the Smithfield Foods facility, Circle 4 Farms in Utah. And yeah, they say compassion is not a crime, righttorescue.com, which is also somewhere you can go to sign the petition if you haven't yet, to support the Right to Rescue, and also to learn more about this and other animal rescue cases that are happening around the country. So since things are pretty difficult in Utah and we're facing an uphill battle with the way that the judge has been ruling on most things, despite the successful change of venues, there have been some setbacks and some bad rulings. So we really need people to come out to change the environment and to show people, to show the public in Utah that people support animal rescue. So we really need, it's up to us. You know, the judge is not on the side of animal rights or animal rescue. It's really up to us to show the world and to get public support and media attention for this case, and to use it as an education tool, just like what we're doing today, taking action to raise awareness about speciesism to passerby who are walking and biking by, and also people driving by on this busy highway. Similarly, the trial is a huge opportunity to raise awareness, to spread information about factory farming as an industry, about Circle 4 Farms in Utah specifically, and its parent company, Smithfield Foods, the largest pork producer in the U.S., and also it's a wholly owned subsidiary of WH Group, which is a multi-billion-dollar company that is the largest pork producer in the entire world. And that's something we really want to bring people's attention to, is that this is really emblematic of the problems in the entire animal agriculture industry. This is one of the largest players, and we see cruelty to animals like gestation crates for mother pigs. We see diseases. We see antibiotic use that is rampant, that is making humans at risk of antibiotic resistance as well. So many problems coming from these facilities. Environmental pollution of the air, and people having to suffer through the smell of these facilities in their communities. So many things to bring awareness to. So I am hopeful that this trial is a huge opportunity to bring people's attention to the harms of animal agriculture, regardless of what happens at trial. But I also obviously hope that it's a legal victory, but that's going to be hard. You know, I want to brace people that there's a very high probability that Wayne and or Paul end up incarcerated after this trial. And I know what they want us to do in that event is to keep taking action, to keep getting out in the street, to keep doing what we're doing today, to keep shaming Smithfield and bringing public attention to the horrors that they are committing against animals, including humans. And yeah, just to keep taking action and keep getting out there until we eventually, ultimately, whether it's in our lifetime or many lifetimes from now, end speciesism, because that is, again, I've said it before in this live stream, but that's a huge goal. It's not even ending animal agriculture, which is a big enough goal for our lifetimes, right? But it's ending the entire view of animals as less than humans, or other animals, I should say, because humans are animals too, as less than humans, less worthy of life, and so on. So we're entering the actual walkway here. I'm just going to stand over here while people get on to show you. We've kind of just been walking along the freeway, but we're entering the path that's going to lead up to the Bay Bridge. And Rocky's over here getting a really good shot. Hey, Rocky! I like filming people while they're filming. So here we go. We're getting elevated now. We're getting some elevation going up this bridge. And we're officially going to be on the walkway next to the Bay Bridge. We are not going across the entire bridge today because it actually is not possible to take this walkway all the way across the bridge into San Francisco. You get stopped at Treasure Island, I believe it is, where it stops and the walkway part doesn't continue. So we're only going to be going about a little over a mile and then turning around and going back. So we have about a 2.5 mile or so walk today, and that's pretty long, so I probably won't be live streaming the whole thing, but I want to keep going for a bit because I want you to see what it looks like up here on this bridge. So I'm going to get up to the front eventually. Oops, I'm on the wrong side. Yeah. Thanks so much to everybody who's joining our bridge march today. Once again, we met up in Oakland. We are on the Bay Bridge. We're just heading up onto it right now. And we are holding these giant letters that spell out End Speciesism for the 8th annual World Day for the End of Speciesism. Speciesism as a term has been around since, I believe, 1971. But the World Day for the End of Speciesism has been happening since 2015, coordinated by a Swiss animal rights group that has gotten many other animal rights groups, like DXE and many more, to participate. So we didn't start World Day for the End of Speciesism, and we don't coordinate it, but we are happy to participate in it, like we've done in past years and like we're doing here today. Okay, I'm almost to the front. switch the order? That's what I was asking. We have someone from Indy Bay documenting for the press today, so we'll hopefully see at least one press article about this action today, which is awesome. This is kind of a scenic tour, you know, kind of a nice walk. It's very windy and loud right by the freeway, but it is a pretty bridge and beautiful water that we'll be seeing even better in a few minutes. How does the audio sound? I'm using an external mic, which should help, but I know that it's pretty windy out here, so it might still sound pretty windy, I'm not sure. Dawn saying, should it go the other way? Yeah, I think Almira and Alex are coordinating when we stop where we're gonna switch the order, because it's confusing to read if you're driving by and it's right to left. Even though cars are driving right to left, it's still our natural instinct for at least readers of English to read left to right. And right now it's not doing that, so it's a little bit confusing, but it will get switched. Someone on the live stream asked too. Like, is it going to switch around? Thanks, Shiloh. Shilow's saying the audio is good, so that's great.
Can't convince Alex. It's because, like, it is true when you, like, drive that way. Like, it says, like, stop sign. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the way they do things. When it's sideways, no one's going to be able to get it. It doesn't say stop sign. It says stop ahead. But it says ahead stop, right? Or does it say stop ahead?
Alex is saying that it makes sense because when you are driving and there's a instruction given painted in the road, it's actually painted in this direction. So you're kind of reading it backwards, but you're used to doing that driving. It's a funny just debate here, but it's okay. We'll try it like this for a while, and at some point we will switch it around, Dawn, so we'll have video both ways. We're pretty high up here now on the bridge, just looking down over the railing. We're starting to pass the water.
not food. Stealing is no kindness.
Violence!
Stealing is no kindness.
It's not food, it's violence!
Their bodies,
Not ours!
their lives,
Not ours!
babies, their freedom,
Not ours!
their bodies,
Not ours!
their lives.
Not ours!
So if anybody's just joined us, we are walking the pedestrian and cyclist path along the Bay Bridge. Not all the way, it doesn't actually go all the way, but we're going to walk about a little over a mile and then turn around and walk back. And we have giant letters constructed that spell out End Speciesism to raise awareness on today, Saturday, August 27th, which is the World Day for the End of Speciesism,
What do we want?
about what this oppression is,
What do we want?
just to bring more awareness to it as a concept and to give people the chance to learn more about how they can fight this oppression and maybe get involved with animal activism or other kinds of, more spreading of awareness. And so it would be really helpful if people who are watching can like the live stream, can comment on the live stream, and if you're willing to, possibly to share the live stream to help bring more attention to what we're talking about today. There are some people down here engaged in speciesist activity today, trying to catch fish, and I hope that they'll read the signs and think about what speciesism is, perhaps for the first time. I see Raquel saying, "Good job, everyone. Wish I could be there." Thanks so much, Raquel, for your support. Thanks, Anelli, for watching. Everybody who's watching, really appreciate it.
I think Alex made up the benches.
It's just an incentive to keep going.
How's it going, Kyle?
Oh, it's fine.
Is it easy or hard to carry it?
It's pretty easy with this red thing.
It's a pretty smart invention. How are you doing? Good? So Don is asking, can someone type in a short definition of speciesism? I think that's a great idea. People can Google it and you'll basically get something akin to the belief that humans are more important than other animals, more deserving, superior to other animals. Basically the idea that humans have the right to dominion over other animals that leads to so many abuses of so many species of animals. And even people who haven't read the definition, when they hear this word, I hope that they already start to have some idea of what it is based on context clues, just because of knowing the word species, if they know that word, and then seeing the ism. And what would people advocating to end speciesism be advocating for? Probably to end a system that is hurting certain species, right? And if you just start to think about it, then I hope people would understand that the species of one individual is not a justification for harming them or treating them in any unjust way. Obviously, there are differences among species, all kinds of differences, from fur to feathers to, what we look like, what we like to eat or do, our natural behaviors that we exhibit, all kinds of things like that. But none of those differences, like what we look like or whether we dust bathe or not, is something that should define our right to life or our right to freedom or our right to be with our family. Those are things that any animal of any species deserves, because what is important is that we have the desire to be with our families. We have the desire to live. We have the desire to be free. If we have the desire and the will to live, then how dare anyone take that away from us? How could that ever be justified? Especially for such a ridiculous reason as the pleasure, the mere fleeting pleasure of taste, or the mere luxury of we want to wear a certain animal as fur, or have a purse or shoes made of snake skin. Those things do not outweigh the value of an animal's life, no matter their species. And I think a lot of people haven't really thought about that before, and they also haven't heard the word speciesism, but that once they hear it, I think it gets the wheels churning, and I think it makes people think about what justifications they might be using for ways that they use animals, ways that they are complicit in animal exploitation. And we probably, even if we haven't thought about it before, all have some kinds of subconscious or conscious justifications. Whether we've really been pushed on explaining them out loud before, that might not be the case, but even in our minds, internally, we probably have some justifications that have allowed us the cognitive dissonance to love our dogs or cats or rabbits at home, and to see other animals as food, even when we see them alive or see them depicted alive as characters in cartoons or movies, etc. So, we're trying to bring those justifications to the surface and to point out that they really are not justifications. There's no excuse for animal abuse. And we need to end the system of this way of thinking, of speciesist thinking, that gives people the right to harm animals, that makes up excuses and pretends that they're valid reasons to harm animals. And Shiloh also put an answer in here, and then Dawn did too, so I'll read those. Speciesism from Google: the assumption of human superiority leading to the exploitation of animals. That is a very concise way, much more concise way to say what I was trying to say, so thanks, Shiloh. And Dawn says, the belief that humans are superior over other species, often causing a loss of freedom or life. Very similar. Kind of two key pieces to it in these definitions is both the belief that humans are superior to other animals and what that leads to, the consequences. So it's not just a belief, which would be like, hey, why is it such a big deal if people have this belief? But it's the fact that this belief also leads to horrible outcomes for other animals. So we've gotten to the first spot where there's a little bench and people can take a break if they need to. I think we might rearrange the letters here. Rocky, is there anything you want to say about your outreach conversation?
Yeah, so there's a few people on the bridge, but those who I was able to stop by, I only have 20 seconds with them. So I basically need to explain what speciesism is and how it negatively affects animals and us, and ask the question, do you think that we should create laws and norms to respect animals' livelihoods and to take their lives into consideration. And most people agree, especially those who visibly have companion animals with them or are vegan, and just even regular passerbys. So I also handed them this leaflet. So I definitely hope that in addition to that conversation, that they check out this leaflet, which is the Right to Rescue one, where activists are facing trial for rescuing 2 dying baby piglets, and it's very related to the system of speciesism and what we could do to create a better world for animals through the legal system and our social norms.
Nation, you're getting good at the like very fast, got to get the message out, got to summarize everything. Nice. That's funny. Rocky says he has 20 seconds to explain what speciesism is and ask people what they want to do about it. I guess, woo, that was loud. I guess because they're walking past us so quickly, and I've seen him already running up and down the walkway here a bit to try to keep up with them, get as much time with them as possible, and then run back to join up with us. So as much as we're walking today, the 2.5 miles we're walking, Rocky's probably walking 3.5 miles with all of the up and down to keep up with pedestrians. So we're switching it around now. I think this is a more logical way to read it. It's hard to know because sometimes street signs do get spray painted or whatever on the road bottom up instead of top down. But I think reading right to left is pretty hard driving by. So yeah, I think this will be better that we're switching it to be left to right. So even though people will see the ism first, by the time they get past it, I think it will be easier in that last little bit to read the whole thing quickly. End speciesism. And especially with a word like speciesism, which most people are not that used to seeing, and it might not immediately click in their minds what they're reading if it's right to left. So yeah, we're getting it switched around. And folks are just taking a little break too.
Maybe Monica is like right here. And we're doing an angle, right? Like. Yeah, I think that's fun. Yeah, that could work. Because I think if you were driving and you
Hey Sergio, thanks for watching. Thanks everybody who's joining. Dawn says it looks better now. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks for the live input and feedback from everyone about the letters and the audio and everything else. I always really appreciate when I'm live streaming if I can get live, real-time feedback. That's the best kind of feedback. I mean, depending on the thing. You know, sometimes it's better to wait, find a private moment, pull someone aside. But if there's something that can be corrected mid-action, then it's great for us to do that. So yeah, thanks for all of that feedback. We've got all our photo video people here snapping photos, including the press person here from Indy Bay. And obviously lots of cars passing by, seeing our message as well. All right, and we are heading off again.
Wow, 6 whole people.
Well, is it too windy? How good's the audio?
No, I've asked people. They said the audio is fine. I know, it's not the most exciting live stream to watch. There is not a lot of people nearby to hear speak outs or speeches or anything like that. So it's mostly just the visual. Dawn says audio is excellent still. Lewis, the audio is excellent, I'll have you know. Excellent, according to Dawn. So this microphone really works. If anyone here is...
Rode Wireless Go 2. Wow.
I kind of want to get one of those little boxes that goes on the mic that says DXC, or you know how in the studio, in the newsroom, anchors, or I guess maybe not in the studio room, maybe it's more when they're out in the field, but professional news people often have those little boxes that brand them as ABC or whatever TV station they are. I think it'd be cool to have our little DXC, DXC Studios box on the microphone so everyone knows. But everybody watching on the live stream probably already knows. Dawn's asking about the best vegan jerky. Unrelated, but I know that there's not a lot of content up here. So let's see. What jerky have I had? I've had Unisoy and Beyond Meat jerky recently, which was pretty good. But also there's a lot of brands that are less well known that I still think are pretty good at, like Berkeley Bowl, for example. They have some that I don't even remember the name of, but I like it at the Berkeley Bowl grocery store. But feel free to answer that yourself or anybody else in the comments. And if anyone has questions about the action today, about speciesism, about the upcoming trial that we've talked about in Utah or anything else, please feel free to put any comments or questions in there and I can do my best to answer them.
Okay.
No, there's a bee. I gotta run.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, bees are dangerous.
Whew, okay. That was really scary. I'm very scared of bees. They are another species and they deserve to live. And that is why I don't want them to sting me, because I don't want them to die. And I get really scared that bugs in the presence of these big giant humans might die, or that we might harm each other in some way, which I really don't want to have happen. So pardon the running, but I'm back at the front again, so that's convenient, and I can turn it around. And thank you, Shiloh, for commenting again with the event page this time for Utah Convergence, which is dxc.io/Utah Trial. Although Wayne pointed out that he couldn't find it very easily. He was trying dxc.io/trial, and I was like, yeah, that's a great point. Why didn't I make all of those things? We have all the short links that we want. We can make them thanks to our tech team. So I made another one, which is just dxc.io/trial that redirects to the same event page. So that way, if you're trying to find something, you know, we always say, if you're trying to find something DXC related, you might as well try just dxc.io/insert whatever here, and it might exist, even if you don't know. And when we say that, it's probably, you know, better for us to make the most simple short links that we can for something. So dxc.io/trial is going to be easier than Utah trial, which people might not guess. I like how those bikes were tethered together so that they stay together. That's pretty nifty. Does anybody have any other questions about the Utah trial? You can also ask them in the comments later if you're not watching this live, but if you're watching it another time, you can comment them and you can tag me, Cassie King, or tag the Direct Action Everywhere SF Bay Area page to make sure that we see it so that someone can give you an answer. We're passing another spot with benches, but I guess no one's taking a break right now because we're going to get up to the top, to the higher part, and stop there for a few minutes just to have a better view for drivers driving by with all our letters. So Dawn is asking, how active is Direct Action Everywhere in other states? That is a great question. It really depends on the state, obviously. But in general, you know, we have chapters all over the world. DXC is an international network, a global network of activists. And there are some incredible chapters that are doing actions regularly. And there are other chapters that have not as much human bandwidth, and everyone's volunteering, everyone's got jobs, and it's hard to get people together, but they're doing what they can. And of course, we appreciate anyone, anywhere, doing any bit that they can do to elevate the issues that animals are facing. And if they want to do that in the DXC name, on the DXC platform, all they have to do is follow DXC's values, which, harkening back to the DXC.io thing, you can find at dxc.io/values if you're curious about what they are. And if you're curious about what chapters exist, Dawn, then you can find those at dxc.io/ can you guess how to find them? All the chapters that we have on a really cool interactive map where you can click on the different places and see the chapters' social media pages. Okay, you don't have to guess. It's dxc.io/chapters. But if you go there, then you'll see the different chapters that we have, and there are a lot that are in the United States and various states doing things for their own unique campaigns, like in Orlando. DXC Orlando recently campaigned against multiple restaurants that had foie gras on the menu, which is a particularly cruel product that comes from force-feeding ducks and fattening their liver to sell their fatty liver for more money as a delicacy. And they successfully got 3 different restaurants. It might be at 4 now, I actually lost track, but at the point that Now This made a video about it that reached a bunch of people on social media, it was 3 restaurants that they had successfully gotten to drop foie gras from their menu. So that's really cool. And they've been participating in actions for the Smithfield trial that's upcoming, elevating the Smithfield, you know, the Smithfield Death Star, as we call it, Circle 4 Farms in Milford, Utah, and all the horrors of Smithfield Foods. They've been taking part in coordinated actions and that sort of thing. And yeah, there are also individuals who take part in our coordinated actions who don't necessarily have the infrastructure of a chapter behind them, but they still want to be part of the actions that we have going on. And there are a lot of things that you can do to contribute just as an individual with solo actions and things like that. We just got a peace sign of support from someone biking by, which is awesome. So yeah, I mean, even if you can't get out there and do a march that spells out End Speciesism because you don't have enough people. Oh, wow. Yeah, do you think that's because of us?
Well, Kara was asking, and I feel like...
Huh. Almira is saying traffic's kind of slowed down here, and it might be because of our signs to read them. Ew. That truck is... We make chickens hella good. Gross. It's a really... I've never seen something like a giant fake chicken body on top of a truck. That's interesting. Very sad. But yeah, just finishing my thought, because I got carried away, is if you are, unable to get enough activists together to do an action like this one, there are still so many things that you can do as an individual. And actually, a banner drop on a bridge only takes a couple of people, really. Wow, Don says, I saved 60 geese in Pennsylvania. That's amazing. And Shiloh said some activists from DXCSF Bay Area are still going to the Salt Lake City Veg Fest in 2022 on September 10th. That is true. We still have maybe 30 or so people overall, not just from the Bay, but from a few areas, who will still be converging in Utah, Salt Lake City specifically, for a protest on Friday, September 9th at the state capitol of Utah to ask Attorney General Sean Reyes to prosecute Smithfield Foods instead of the whistleblowers who exposed it, and to go on Saturday to the SLC Veg Fest organized by Utah Animal Rights Coalition, our friends who are doing awesome work in Utah, and to outreach there about the upcoming trial, which is now in October. So thanks for that point, Shiloh. People can join. Thousands of people coming. So there will be a lot of people there to comb through, but find the DXC folks if you can and get involved with that table, and you can even help us do outreach. And let's see, was there another comment in here? Oh, just Shiloh commented dxc.io/values and dxc.io/chapters. Thanks, Shiloh, for putting those links in there.
Not ours! Not ours! It's violence!
It's not food!
It's violence!
It's not food!
It's violence!
It's not food!
It's violence!
Human freedom, animal rights.
One struggle, one fight! Human freedom, animal rights!
We will not give up this fight.
So it does seem like traffic slowed down a bit over here in response to people reading our signage. I'm probably going to wrap up the live stream now because I think people have been able to see the signs pretty well and see the results pretty well at this point. And it's going to be very similar once we turn around on the way back. Although I think we'll have to rearrange the letters again so it goes the other way. But I'll leave that to Almira and Alex. They're probably better at that stuff. So I guess last call if anybody has any questions about World Day for the End of Speciesism or any comments. Don says thank you. Thanks for joining us for the action. I really love when people are engaging online and seeing what we're doing, hopefully getting inspired about what things they could do, but also just sharing information about things that they're up to. We have so much to learn from each other. And fortunately, we have technology at our fingertips to connect us so we can all learn from each other and support one another.
Not ours. Not ours. Human freedom, animal rights.
Human freedom, animal rights!
It's not food!
It's violence!
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 Human freedom, animal rights.
We are superior to animals to justify their oppression. So it comes to the point of destroying their habitat. Putting them in How do you feel about,
We will not give up this fight.
animals' interests are protected just like animals?
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah?
Just like us. Animals feel love.
Okay, right on. Do you think like us? We should. Yeah.
Did you want to share any thoughts about the action? I'm taking a video.
Oh, well, it's something I guess I haven't really thought about much, but it's good that someone's standing up for the animals' rights. Yeah, I'm gonna Google more, so thank you for the flyers. Good luck.
Today is World Day for the End of Speciesism, so there's actually people all over the world, not just here, taking action, but it's awesome that you are learning about it.
Yeah, I never heard about it, so
Cool.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, have a great day. All right. right, let me read these final comments and then I'll run to catch up here. Shiloh says, everyone please share the live stream. Definitely please share if you can. We've probably reached a dozen people with flyers so far today, but you can help us reach even more. And I don't know how many cars who have been able to successfully read it. Hopefully a few hundred, but I don't know. I don't know how good people are at reading while they drive. So we'll see if there's a jump in visits or search terms for, end speciesism and stuff like that today. I imagine because people all over the world are taking action today that there will be quite a spike in Googling and everything around speciesism, which obviously is one of the goals. We want to raise awareness about this. And Rhonda is saying, thank you so much. I currently live in the Carson Valley, so I'm not too far from you. I would love to come out for an event. I will be in Utah. Awesome. Looking forward to meeting other vegans. That's so awesome. Thanks for joining our action online, Rhonda, and I'm excited to meet you in person at some point. And then Shiloh, perfectly timed. I saw this comment first, dxc.io/events, and I was like, I wonder why Shiloh commented that. But now it makes perfect sense because, Rhonda, if you're looking for events that we have going on in the Bay Area, and actually all our events around the world, you can find them at dxc.io/events if they're, local chapter actually posted them on a link that gets plugged in there. So maybe not all of our events, but a lot of them you can find there, and based on where you are, you'll see the ones near you or the ones that are online at least. And definitely if you're in somewhere near the Bay, then you should check out dxc.io/events and come out to something in person. I just met someone here at the briefing before this action who said it's his first protest that he's come out to. So there's new people coming all the time, and we will be happy to see you and get to know you better. So I hope it's not too intimidating. And yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up the live stream now. I'm getting pretty far behind everyone, but I think we're almost to our turnaround point anyways. So thanks so much for joining us, everyone. And thanks for taking action, whether that's in person or online, any way that you can, to help end speciesism and enshrine the rights of all animals. Have a good rest of your day.